At this point, I'm going to be sounding like a broken record to some of you, and I'm sorry about that, and I really don't want to sound that way. I would prefer not to sound that way. Like Bartleby said, I would prefer not to. Nowicki is saying the same thing. I would prefer not to sound like a broken record. But I just have to tell the truth about what I see. And what I saw last night was this new Christian movie from Angel Studios, our Christian affiliated, Christian themed movie from Angel Studios, the ones who brought us Sound of Freedom, and that was a huge hit. And now they've sort of become this brand, this sort of off-brand, promoting faith-based movies and so forth. The latest movie that they've got is one that's titled "Surprised by Oxford." Now, this is the true story of a woman a young woman who attended Oxford. She was from America, but she was very driven, and her academics were very good. So she got accepted into Oxford's grad program, and she became a literature student there. It's the story about how she met the man who would become her husband. And at the time, she was kind of an angry atheist. He was a Christian, and it was partly through his influence, but also partly through the influence of some of her professors, and some just and also the influence of C.S. Lewis, which you can see reflected in the title. Surprised by Oxford. Oxford was, of course, the place where C.S. Lewis taught and was a don, and he wrote an autobiography called Surprised by Joy, which is also referenced in this movie. Okay, well, so far so good. When I saw the preview, it sounded like, it sounded like it would probably have all the pitfalls that a lot of these Christian movies do. That maybe it would be a little bit maudlin, that it would be over the top in some ways, or I don't know, just be heavy-handed. Those things, interestingly enough, were not the case. I did not find. Those were not the criticisms that I had of the movie. The main criticism that I have of the movie centers around the relationship between Carolyn, who's the girl who the main character, and Kent, who is the love interest. Now, again, I really didn't think this was going to happen. I didn't think it was going to be another movie where the man just gets bashed, where the man is emasculated, where the man is made to look stupid, where the man is overly deferential to the woman. Unfortunately, I was wrong. It was that. It was all of those things. So, over the course of the movie, I don't want to go into all the detail about everything, of course, but Carolyn has her reasons for traffic. Carolyn has her reasons for being embittered, and she's I think I characterize her as an angry atheist because of a betrayal that happened early in her life that sort of made her lose her childhood faith. And that's fine, for her to be angry and dismissive of faith and those kinds of things. And that was her character is apparently based on the actual woman. But the story as it unfolds between these two characters, between Carolyn and Kent, is quite disturbing in that she is extremely condescending to him. She's extremely insulting towards him. She's very, very unreasonable around him. There's one really, really, really dumb scene early on where they're talking and sort of having a good time, enjoying their banter. Both of them enjoying, meeting the other one, and the sparks are flying or whatever. All the stuff that's supposed to happen in a rom-com or rom-dram, whatever this is. And then he's out of the room for a second, and he gets a text on his phone, and the text is from a friend who's written something like, "I found this great girl for you. She's Christian and she's totally hot and she's a virgin." And Carolyn is so offended by this slightly obnoxious, I guess, text, that somebody else wrote. It wasn't even Kent who wrote it. It was somebody else writing to Kent, trying to get him set up with a girl that he thought would be good for him because, he's a young Christian man, and of course he values chastity. But she was so offended by this text that she actually left. She said, "Oh, well, I've just got to leave. I just realized I got to do something." And she leaves in a huff. And then he sees that she read the text and actually chases after her. He actually chases after her in the street and says, look, I'm sorry. It was just a text from a friend. It wasn't really and later he says it wasn't really appropriate for you. To his credit, he does say it wasn't really appropriate for you to read that text. It wasn't really your business. But the fact that she would have that kind of extreme reaction, and somehow the movie would be construing it as that it was okay or that it was understandable, so that's one really egregious moment. Another moment is he likes her and he thinks she likes him, but at some point she says to him, "Look, I don't want to be around you anymore," because she's feeling like she's losing her grip on her studies, and it's just he's getting in the way of things, and she just says, so just please go away, leave me alone. I don't want to be with you. I don't want to spend time with you. And it's pretty harsh, but I mean it's she's a right to say it. But then, of course, afterwards, she sees him with another girl laughing and holding hands, and then she sees them kiss, and they go up to their apartment, to his apartment, and she's like, how dare he? And are we supposed to think, yeah, you go, girl, that's right. No, we're not supposed to think, we shouldn't think that. She broke up with him. I mean, she's like, well, he didn't waste any time. Well, you broke up with him, lady. It's once you did that, then you have no business, no right to condemn him for seeing another girl. But he, of course, he sees her through the window. He sees that she's stalking them. It's so ridiculous. And then he goes out and chases her into the street again and says, "Look, I think you should just, you're so into your studies, and you just gotta let yourself love and be loved, and say all this stuff," instead of saying, "What the hell are you doing, stalking me? What business is it of yours who I'm going out with? You rejected me." Instead of saying that, or better yet, just saying nothing, just seeing her and waving and then closing the window, which is what he should have done, which would have been completely appropriate under the circumstances. So it's yet another movie, just like if you see my review of Fall Guy. That was another one where I was blindsided. I was not expecting a movie just just pulsating with misandrist moments, like this one is. Now, they do eventually get together, yes, and the film does affirm her faith, or shows her being led to faith in a way that's, it's all right. I guess it's semi-compelling. I don't, and I certainly don't have any problem with that at all. That aspect of the movie, but I do think that there's just something about these scenes between the two of them. It's so out of balance. Like, this is supposed to be just playful banter, I think, but the truth is, she's just being mean. One time, he even says, like, "You're being very," and then she says, "What, bitchy?" Like, she's just daring him to say that word. When it's true, it's the real word. It is an accurate descriptor. But he says, difficult. So again, he kind of comes across as this milksop, as this simp. And while I was watching it, I was thinking of the movie Emma, which was a book, of course, by Jane Austen. And the character of Darcy, who's like, women love Darcy. They want their boyfriends to be Darcy. Darcy's like the ideal boyfriend. But there's a scene in Emma where Darcy just lets Emma have it after she's done something that he thinks is really bad, treated someone really badly, and he says to, and I remember in that exchange, he says, "That was bad form, Emma. Badly done," or something like that. And the contrast between a character like Darcy, who was written by a woman, all right, Jane Austen, and who's swooned over by women, across the globe, who love Jane Austen's fiction. Just how we've gone from Darcy to this guy, to Kent, this utter milksop, this utter sap, this utter simp, and that there's such misandrist tendencies even amongst conservative Christians. The type, the audience that this movie is being made for it's depressing, it's sad. So those are my thoughts on this movie, Surprised by Oxford. So let me know what you think. If you've seen it, comment below.